Hi, my name is Mark Biernat. I'm a monetary economist. In this video, I want to talk about Russia, their economic strategy, why they will lose in relation to Ukraine's economic strategy. And it relates to this idea I've talked about with Adam Smith and the pin factory, that there's a certain degree of specialization that occurs. And Russia misinterprets this idea as scaling things up. They always have this philosophy, scale it up. Like it's in the 1940s, we're making, just very primitive widgets, and you can just get a lot of people creating something in mass, en masse, and just scale it up, have economies to scale, and outproduce the enemy. And I've talked about this before. But the reality is times have changed. And Adam Smith was not necessarily talking about scaling things up, economies of scale per se. He was talking about something called specialization. So we're going to contrast using drones, and specifically optical drones, as the example. As you know, in the Kursk region, depending on your spin on it, a lot of the success from Russia, I don't even want to put those two words together, came from using something called optical drones. Optical drones are, imagine a fishing line. I mean, I'm from Florida. I'm a Florida man, going fishing all the time. And using this thin wire, I can, or thin actually fishing line, I can cast out my lines and then reel them in. I've got control over my over my fishing lures, as opposed to just dropping it somewhere and waiting for the fish and then swimming out and getting it or throwing it out. So these optical drones act in the same way. They're manual control, and you can't really block them with radar and jamming frequencies. So they were a little bit of an innovation that allowed Russia to take advantage of some situation in Kursk. The counter argument was it really was a strategic withdrawal by Ukraine because of the lack of U.S. intelligence being supplied. And that's probably truthfully the more likely scenario. But let's look at this economies of scale scenario in relation to FTP drones and optical drones. So Russia has this idea that, scale it up means economies to scale, which means each additional unit or widget, you have a lower average cost. But Samuelson, I believe in 1981, did a study that eventually it becomes higher average costs. As you reach diminishing returns, you start to get negative returns. And the average cost starts to go up and even can exceed your total cost. So you have an average cost versus a total cost, and you have a marginal product versus a marginal cost. Usually the intersection between the marginal product and the marginal cost is your optimal point. But in this case, when you scale something up too much, your total cost exceeds total cost exceeds your total benefit. Okay? And this is what I'm talking about with Russia, because there's a certain aspect. If you're doing some peaceful industry, like let's say growing corn in Nebraska, that may be the case. But this is chess. It's just not what white does, it's what black does. If you're a chess player, pawns before bishops, you move your pawn, knights before bishops, you move your pawn structure out. You try to get open lines with your bishops, maybe even fianchettoing your bishops. While you're plotting that and doing maybe a king or even a queenside castle, while you're doing that, black is already looking and observing your moves. So if you think you can just be creating a defensive structure or a particular going a certain way, you're wrong. So whenever Russia invests a lot of time, money, and effort into scaling something up that it thinks is successful, like optical drones, it's usually a bad sign for Russia. And this is the signature of the Russian economy. Look at all their manufactured housing blocks from the Soviet era. They're all crumbling and falling down. So economies of scale might work with something like growing corn in Nebraska or Kansas, but it doesn't work when it's a complex situation with logistics and supply chain. Another reason it doesn't work is they're just open targets. You got a huge factory, why not target it? Ukraine has a different strategy. It has the cottage industry strategy. It still leverages Adam Smith's specialization of the pin factory, but it does it in a different way. It's totally decentralized. And if you watch my last video on factors of production, I mentioned land, labor, and capital. But there's also suggested by Schumpeter a fourth factor of production called entrepreneurship. Ukrainians excel at this. They excel at flexibility, entrepreneurship, innovation, and creativity. This decentralized cottage industry production of drones will create more innovative, flexible, and things that can adapt to the real situation more quickly. I mean, they're creating them in their dorms. These are university students in their dorms, highly motivated, creating these and assembling these FTP drones, and various other situations. And I think there's even a group online. Even people in the West, they can join these geeky tech groups and aid Ukraine in that way. So this rapid iteration in this deployment of through decentralization and innovation will outstrip. It will be like a fat bear coming out of hibernation against a pack of wolves. The wolves have flexibility, maneuverability. They can go here and there, while the fat bear, it can barely maneuver and it's just kind of awake. Okay, and just for the record, wolves are pretty peaceful, and they probably wouldn't hurt the bear. They just try to push it out of this territory. That's another story. So I have a specific example. When I was growing, you could actually look at one of my videos. I had a $1 greenhouse video. I created, tomatoes were very profitable for me when I was selling plants, when I was a grower. I'm not doing that right now in Poland. So I said, I'm going to scale it up. I created a zillion plants, tomato plants. I was just putting seeds in. I created these huge greenhouses. With a machete, I was chopping bamboo out of the woods, creating greenhouses. It was brilliant. And they all got mold and there's some fungus. I lost my whole crop. It wasn't profitable. I should have been a little more flexible and multifaceted, and it is connected a little bit to supply chain and changing consumer demand. But I took this Russian philosophy of just scaling things up. Eventually, hurricanes blew down my $1 greenhouse beyond repair. So that's an example, and it's analogous to the drone example, that you can't beat a population that's not willing to surrender. It's just like the American Revolution versus the British marching in open field. Who won? War of 1812 was the same thing. So it doesn't matter about this big, fat, drunken, hibernating bear. It matters about what the pack of wolves do. And that's the economic metaphor I want to use, this asymmetry, this economies of scale, this speed of innovation, this cost of unit production and adaptability. And eventually, it will wear down the Russians because they don't have this maneuverability. You can say, okay, they get it from, Iran and North Korea and China. But we've gone over that. Each one of these countries have similar philosophies. And, if you really look at the North Korean production, and they're not that great, or Iran, and China is certainly having financial problems. I mapped it out in terms of industrial hexes, and it's just not the amount of industrial hexes each country has. Even if Ukraine has 1 industrial hex and Russia has 3, maybe going down to 2 after it keeps on getting hit by these Ukrainian drones, it's a multiplier about the efficiency and production output of each one of these. And that does relate to this factors of production I talked about. So Ukraine could go to a 5, and Russia could go to a 0.5 as a multiplier. So it could actually outproduce it in total firepower or effectiveness on the battlefield when you're talking about drone innovation. This is just one example of economies of scale. And this is just one example why Ukraine will win. Now, I wish I could just, come out here with a big banner that, there's just some great battlefield victory and something great and amazing has happened that will change the course of events. But, with economics, it's usually a marathon and not a sprint. So you guys, you just got to be patient, kind of trust the process that Ukraine is involved in, and understand that this centralization never works compared to decentralization. And I've used this before. If you invest, you know that micro cap outperforms small cap outperforms large cap. Okay? And Russia is like the ultimate state-run government monopoly with one central planner at the top, while Ukraine is like, IT central with a lot of innovation, highly motivated, people, eating ramen noodles and cans of tuna fish in the dorm, assembling things that will go into the greater, picture. And when you have decentralization, you can't hit those targets successfully. You can't break that supply chain. So again, light wins over darkness. Ukraine will win. Russia will lose. My name is Mark Gernot. I'm a monetary economist. Have a great day. Thank you very much.